Hey, what's up? I'm Carl. I'm here with...
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Taylor, also known as cushlash on 2+2.
Yeah, I just thought I'd interview him because he's been out here in Vegas for a few years, living the poker lifestyle. So, how long have you been out here?
Almost 4 years now.
4 years, cool. And so, if you had like 3 tips for like beginning poker players, like just starting out, what would your like top 3 pieces of advice be?
Top 3. Number 1, I'd probably say is to have a balance between poker and your real life. You can't just do poker all day long because you'll drive yourself nuts. Like, you gotta have activities that you're doing outside of poker. I like anything that gets you moving. I think is great, like doing exercise and just getting outside because you're inside so much. So that'd be number 1. Number 2, I would say have a schedule, because when you're getting like on a routine, it's a lot easier to play well, and you're not like tired from staying up all night one night and then playing early the next day. So I would say that routine is really important. Let's see, Number three, I would say, is to keep your poker bankroll separate from your life bankroll, because you don't want to be playing poker and like lose a big pot and say, oh man, like I could have paid my rent with that, or I could have, I could have bought dinner for the next 3 months with that. Like, you don't want to be thinking about that. So you want to keep some money aside to pay your expenses, so that when you're playing poker, you're not sweating the dollar amounts.
Yeah, those are great points. I like the activities. It's definitely good. If you're sitting on your ass for like hours and hours inside a casino, definitely have to like get out, go hiking or bike riding or whatever you wanna like get the blood flowing, not just like wake up, grind all day on your ass and then go. That's like really unhealthy. That's like studies have shown that like if you sit on your ass like all day, it's really bad. You'll die like a lot younger. So.
Yeah, they say sitting is the new smoking. That's what I hear. And it's just like,
you wouldn't think it seems so innocuous, but definitely have to get that activity in, like either before you play or after you play.
Definitely get moving. I mean, I'm a big proponent of do whatever you think is fun. Like, I really don't like the gym, so I do things that are fun. As long as you get moving, I think you can't really go wrong.
Yeah. And you said get on a schedule, and I think that's a lot of people like are not good at managing their time well. I think everyone kind of struggles with it, but like when you get on a schedule, like you get in the habit, and you just like your body kind of adjusts to the schedule. You get kind of in a groove, rather than just like in Vegas, it's really easy to lose track of time and like not get to sleep on time or like not wake up at the same time. But I think if you like have a schedule, it's gonna help you like play more volume, play more consistently well.
Yeah, I know for me, when I'm not on my regular schedule, like I'm just not mentally prepared to play poker, and because my brain is like, it's not in poker mode yet, so I have to work really hard to get it in poker mode. But if I'm on a schedule, I know like, all right, I'm going to the casino at 2 o'clock, and I know I'm going to play poker, and I can just snap right into poker mode.
And the last one you said is bankroll management. That's critical. If anyone is serious, you need to have like separate money for that's just used as a tool. And like as far as playing pro, I've heard you want to have like 20-30 buy-ins for your primary stake plus like 6 months living expenses.
Yeah, I think that's a great starting point. Everybody's life situation's a little bit different, but just as a general rule, I'd say like 6 months living expenses minimum and 20-30 buy-ins.
What you can't do is say, okay, I got 30 buy-ins, but no living expenses. I'll just make it as I go. Like it might work if you win, but if you're gonna have a downswing like sooner or later, and that's when you're in trouble. So.
Yeah, it eats away the bankroll when you're downswinging, and then you got to pay rent, and you got to pay for your car.
It's like a permanent downswing at the first of every month. So
It's
like you're digging out of however much you spend a month. That's how you're in the red. So people don't think about that. People don't consider that when they're weighing the options of going pro. Alright, so the next question I want to ask you about is like, I know you've posted in your thread in Las Vegas Lifestyle about like the pros and cons of being a poker pro and how you kind of deal with that yourself. Like, can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure, yeah. I mean, poker's great. There's a lot of positives. You have a lot of freedom, a lot of autonomy. You kind of make your own schedule. But there's a lot of drawbacks too. I mean, it can be a pretty lonely lifestyle, and the casinos are not happy places. So you're generally going to have to like find a yin to that yang or whatever it is, and there's no health insurance, there's no paid time off. You know, if you get sick and can't go in, like you don't get paid. And there's no retirement fund. Not to mention, like those are all things that are true about being a professional poker player, like in a vacuum, I think. But especially now, the games are getting smaller, the games are getting tougher. And I'm not going to say poker's dying because there's definitely still money to be made.
The sky is falling.
Yeah, the sky is always falling in poker. But yeah, no, I mean there's still money to be made, but it's not like it used to be, and so it's quite tough, especially if you're just starting out right now. So I mean it's tough to give up the freedom of poker, but you know that's kind of the there's draw. What am I trying to say? You know, there's pluses and minuses, and there's trade-offs. That's what I'm trying to say. So you gotta figure out if it's worth it to you to have that freedom, because you're probably not gonna make as much money as you could make working a full-time job. That's not true for everybody, but that's what I'm saying.
Cool. All right. So now, outside of poker, like, do you have anything you like really enjoy about living in Vegas? Like, where you said you moved from?
I moved from Wisconsin. I actually really like Vegas. I didn't think I would. I really like the weather. I mean, it gets really hot in the summer, but you know that's a great time to take vacations. Or if it's during the series, you're going to be inside in the casino playing poker anyways. So the heat doesn't really bother me, and it's a dry heat, so I like not having to deal with humidity. All the road system is set up really well, so you can get from pretty much where you are to anything in like 20 minutes. Yeah, and it's just a really cool town to live in.
Yeah, it's pretty modern. Like, you know, it's been growing like the last 20 years. It's really population-wise, it's growing, but all the infrastructure is pretty modern. Like the freeways are really smooth, and all the roads are wide. So
yeah,
it's really pretty easy to get around. It's not like LA where it's like gridlock. You're like get on the freeway, it's like 5 miles an hour.
Yeah,
it's usually a lot better.
Yeah, the highest traffic we see here is like smooth sailing if you were in LA. So
yeah.
And yeah, and it's like people think, oh, you live in Las Vegas, you live on the Strip, you're partying all the time, like you don't want to be around hookers and blow or whatever. But as long as you don't live on the Strip, which I highly recommend not living on the Strip, like it's basically just like Arizona.
Suburbia. Yeah, it's really all suburbs outside the Strip.
Yeah, it's suburbia. So
yeah, it's pretty cheap too. So
yeah, definitely cheap cost of living for sure.
Alright, so do you have any like hobbies that you like doing outside of poker? Like, what are your top hobbies?
I like to go hiking. I'm in a kickball league, and that's really fun. It sounds super lame, but yes,
that sounds pretty badass.
We're adults and we play kickball and we drink and it's fun. So you know, those are like the main things that I do outside. I try to exercise as much as I can, and mostly just relax and enjoy life.
So, like, do you have any personal goals you're working towards right now? Like, what's in store for the next year or so?
That's a tough question because I think one of my issues right now is that I don't really have any goals, especially with poker. And personally, I don't have anything I'm really working on. I spent a lot of time in the last few years losing weight and like getting healthier, and I'm kind of at a point where I'm happy with where that is. So I'm just maintaining that. But besides that, my goals are just kind of trying to figure out what I'm gonna do with my life.
That's a task. It's a task in itself. I mean, you're gonna spend years trying to figure out like what you're good at and what you excel in. And, you know, what's the right fit as far as like occupation wise. So
yeah, poker's been great, but I'm kind of looking to go a different direction, but I haven't really found that yet. So for right now, just trying to play poker and maximize my hourly and do that.
So any last words for the poker community that you wish to bestow on them?
Not really. I mean, if you guys have more questions, I can't really think of anything, but if you guys have more questions, you can hit on my thread. It's cushlash in Vegas, TLDR on Las Vegas Lifestyle. I'm happy to answer any more questions.
Yeah, I'll put a link to his thread below. It's really informative. Like he's been doing it for a long time, so there's plenty of good advice in there. So yeah, thanks for coming out, doing the interview, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.